Welcome back, everybody, to your three-man booth NFL Offseason edition. We're going to give a little fact or fiction here. I'm Dan Salem with Phil and Bud. Guys, there are a ton of crazy stories in the media right now as we wait for free agency and the new league year to begin. Any thoughts before I just throw out a really, really wild headline and you tell me what you think? Any news or notes?
I do want to say something. It's about the Jets.
Okay.
We all understand that Joe Douglas takes phone calls. Why does he have to tell everybody? This is why Jamal Adams, cried like a baby and eventually got his way and got out of there. Like, you openly said to your starting quarterback, who's still on the roster, who's you're still paying, that you are openly interested in trading him today. I don't understand, like, why you have to make that public knowledge, because all it does is it paints, like, yeah, he's doing his job. I get that, but you could easily say that you're doing your job without openly saying, yeah, I'm taking phone calls on everybody, including our quarterback, who there's rumors going around all over the place that you're going to trade him anyway. Like, I just don't understand. It doesn't build morale in the locker room.
Don't you think you got to ask the question? And basically,
no, he did get asked the question, but I mean, I don't know why he needs to be so bluntly, honest.
Well,
like,
he might.
There's ways to answer the question without.
I mean, I'm not sure
saying the answer.
He seems like a blunt dude. I mean, I think he was basically saying, I'll take a phone call on any player. There's nobody that's untouchable. I mean,
I get that point, but I don't.
The other thing you could say, if you want to read,
it just rubs me wrong a little bit. That's
right,
all.
right. But so that single quote is front page news on ESPN right now. Do you think that that's his way of saying, I already got a couple of offers, make me a better one if you're interested?
Could be.
Like, if you're reading the lines, it's telling these other teams, ante up because I got competing bids. So it's interesting. I don't know if that's true, but Seattle paid up big time after he made that quote in July. So it could be that, or he could just be a very on the nose type of person. And we can start with that. That's the first headline. It's that most obvious statement. They're taking offers on Darnold. And then he says that they're not going to trade for a star. Fact or fiction?
I think that's fact. I mean, he's been pretty consistent with his mentality and philosophy of building through the draft, and he said it again today that good teams, good franchises, consistent franchises build their teams through the draft. It's also the cheaper way of doing it because you don't have to pay these guys a ton of money. And Phil has always said that, teams are successful with their rookie quarterbacks on rookie deals, and then once you pay them money, you lack the opportunities to spend money on key positions. So I think that his biggest decision is what he's going to do with the quarterback, because they're going to have to do something with Darnold. I mean, he's going to start getting paid. And if he's not the guy, then you gotta draft the quarterback and then get the quarterback in cheap.
Well, Phil, I don't know if you remember, but there's a stat that, like, if a quarterback's salary is more than 25% of the teams, they know what team has ever won the Super Bowl if that's the case. And so basically saying, if you have a superstar quarterback on a big money contract, you're not going to win. So the question was, will Mahomes and the Chiefs ever win another Super Bowl, because he crossed that money line, and it's never happened. And they happened to lose this year, but
well, that'll be more interesting in the coming years, because Kelsey's going to need to get paid. Tyreek Hill's going to need to get paid. You got CEH. I know he's a rookie, but that's going to come up at some point. So that will be tested sooner rather than later. But you're right. Look, I don't know him by memory, but the last bunch of Super Bowls minus Brady, Mahomes, Russell Wilson before he got paid. Nick Foles was playing on nothing. So it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's not. You can't handicap your team with one player, no matter how great they are.
Look, Deshaun Watson got paid. He's looking his way out. Russell Wilson got paid. He's demanding a trade. I mean, you can't surround these guys with talent anymore.
So we can't pass by those two headlines, Phil.
No, I know that. I wanted to use them as good examples, but look at what they're doing in Arizona. Kyler Murray's on a rookie deal. You got D-Hop and J.J. Watt now. I mean, they're building something in Arizona.
Well, let's circle back. Watson met with the coaches because I'm not playing for you. The coaches said we're not trading you. What's the truth? What do you guys think?
He just
Well, they're
wouldn't
going to
show
have.
up. He won't show up.
Yeah, but if he doesn't show up, he's going to get fined a ton of money, and he's going to end up having to pay more in fines than he would have made this year. This is what's going to end up happening. They're going to have to trade him because he's not going to bluff. And
that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
But Houston has only a finite amount of time to make a decision because if he's not going to play, they need a quarterback. So they need to figure out what they do. Let me throw something out at you that's completely crazy. Okay?
You're going to trade Deshaun Watson for
trade Deshaun Watson. No, trade Deshaun Watson for Kyler Murray.
That'll never happen. No, that'll never happen though.
Why?
Why would Arizona do that?
That's a good point. Why would Arizona take on that contract?
Well, he has a rapport with DeAndre Hopkins already. J.J. Watt just signed there.
Yeah. But like
Arizona is they think that they can compete, and if it wasn't for the last 4 games of last year, they would have made the playoffs, and they probably would have made at least 1 game run. They are this close away, and if you can make that trade and get draft capital and the younger quarterback that is cheaper than Deshaun Watson, why wouldn't you make that trade?
No, Houston would, but why would Arizona make that trade?
Because if
is Watson,
because Watson's in his prime, dude. He's 24 years old. He's a top 5 quarterback.
But is
Kyler Murray is not a top 5 quarterback.
I agree with that, but
he could be. And
he could be. But everybody already knows what you have in Deshaun Watson.
Well, so the thing I would say working against you is that coach drafted Murray specifically to play his offense, and so he said kicked Rosen to the side specifically to get Murray for his offense. So it'd be. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. It's a business. But,
that'd be insane. I'd be nuts if it did happen.
Yeah. But I want to circle back to the other thing you mentioned, because if you want to, what about Joe Douglas? We will trade Darnold. We don't want a star. Raise your price and lower your price, Houston. What about Darnold and a 1 for Watson? Straight up trade. They'll take on the contract. You eat the dead money. I'm like, they got to get out from underneath that Watson rock. It's killing their team, and they're not going to get what they need. They're not going to get what they deserve for him.
That would be some trade for the Jets. It would
have. They'd be taking on a huge contract, but it's a huge upgrade, obviously, at the position.
And you would be able to keep your draft cap and all your draft capital.
Most of it, yeah. I like to try to read between the lines. There's something. Houston's got to do something. I agree. I don't see any way he plays for Houston this season.
Well, unless they're willing to call his bluff, which it doesn't seem like he's willing to budge on it. So they need to come up with plan B. There's no other quarterback on their roster right now. They just released Josh McCown. And Josh McCown, believe it or not, was the backup quarterback.
So let's stick with quarterbacks for a minute. Dak Prescott is not getting a contract from Dallas.
Oh, I can't handle this.
What's going on? It's crazy. It's crazy.
What's going on? Russell Wilson.
I can't handle this.
May or may not want to be traded. I think that's smoke, but there seems to be a fire. And then the news that it's BS, right? Russell Wilson to Dallas. That's got to be BS. I mean, what? Why don't you just pay Dak? He's younger.
Yes, and so I was watching Get Up. No, not Get Up. I was watching First Take, right? And Stephen A is a noted Cowboy hater, and Max Kellerman is not. So Stephen A goes, he should go to Dallas. And Max Kellerman made all these great points. Seattle's a much better team than Dallas right now, with a much better offensive line, much better offensive weapons. You're going to go down to Dallas, where most of it's a sideshow. You have a terrible eroding offensive line. Zeke doesn't even want to really play anymore. You're going to be in cap hell. You're in a better situation in Seattle. Why would you want to go to Dallas? Stephen A's point was, oh,
it's cheaper for Dallas.
No. For Dallas, it makes all the sense in the world. But for Deshaun Watson, he's trying to get out of a situation that he doesn't like right now. He's going to go to Dallas, and he's going to be in a worse situation. They showed a graphic.
You're talking about Russell Wilson.
Yes, yeah. I keep getting those guys mixed up. Russell Wilson has like a 50-game better winning percentage or winning games under his belt than Dallas has in the last 25 years. Like, it's ridiculous. There was some weird set that Russell Wilson by himself has a better record than Dallas.
Well, so do you guys actually think Russell Wilson's going to leave Seattle?
No.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't either. But do you think that they're going to, someone came out and said they should fire Pete Carroll to keep Russell Wilson. I mean, that's kind of stupid. But is he just trying to light a fire under them? Like, he claims he has 4 teams he'd go to, but I don't see it happening, and I don't even know what those 4 teams would be.
So it was Chicago, it was Dallas, it was the Bears,
and the Raiders.
The Raiders. Yeah, that was yeah.
So they weren't.
Why in your right mind would you want to play for Vegas or Chicago? They're nowhere near close to winning, and
Chicago did overachieve last year because they had a good defense and a decent running game.
Yeah, but Allen Robinson's going to be out of there in a few weeks.
Free agent.
Yeah, but the wide receiver pool is huge in this offseason. So in principle, they could bring in a guy if they trade for him.
Would you rather have Metcalf and Lockett and Chris Carson, or Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, and what the hell's the other guy's name?
I'll tell you what.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. That's it.
I'll tell you what his answer is. He'd rather have an offensive line that protects him.
Then don't go to Dallas.
He could throw it to whoever's on his team. Like basically, if you give a quarterback of his caliber time, he can make plays with anybody.
Agreed, but why go to Dallas? Dallas' offensive line is eroding before our eyes.
I don't even know why he threw the Cowboys on the list. That's just silly.
Because it's the Cowboys, and if you're the quarterback of the Cowboys, you are basically the face of the nation.
And him and his wife are like big social media people, and that would be huge for their brand. That's true.
See, that's why Vegas plays into it, because you're in a brand new market. I mean, it doesn't really get any more glitzy and glamour than Vegas.
So this brings me to one of the headlines I saw today, that Vegas is fully behind Derek Carr for the season. I almost spit up laughing when I read that. But you know my opinion. Fact or fiction?
Do they really have a choice, though? I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about their cap situation and stuff. I don't know if they have a choice.
I thought they just cut Carr. I mean, they hailed him as one of the NFL's best QBs. I think they wanted someone to trade for him, but
Gruden can't stand them, right? I mean, at least that's what you hear.
Well, Carr's can probably play well for another team, but I think his time in Vegas is up. I don't think he's gonna kind of burn that bridge.
But he's not the reason why they're losing. I mean, they're losing because their defense is terrible and their weapons are shoddy.
No, I agree.
It's not quarterback play.
No, he's done decent. I mean, a Carr. I don't know if Carr's really an upgrade or a downgrade from Darnold, but it'd be like a similar situation for him if he found his way.
I bet you it's more lateral. I do. I bet you it's more lateral.
I mean, he's got more experience, some playoff experience too, right?
He also gets hurt a lot more though too. He's a little bit of an injury risk.
That's also.
He got
hurt last year, right?
So did Darnold.
He gets hurt. He gets hurt every year.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to bump his stock up. Maybe no one's calling about him. He doesn't have that one free year on his rookie deal left. All right, what's this other? Let me find another headline. Okay. Oh yeah, so Golden Tate was released by the Giants. That's not a fact or fiction headline, but Phil, are you going to miss him? I just wanted to ask.
See, that's the problem. I think we all know they need wide receiver help. So if I don't know what he was costing against the cap, maybe it's like Bud said with the Jets guy. It's more of a cap saver than anything. They need to go wide receiver in the draft. They have to.
Yeah. Well, the Jets cut one of their better defenders, Henry Anderson. So, but it was just.
But he was making a ton of money. That's not a performance thing. That is simply a cap hit. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, the Dolphins are releasing
their linebacker
Kyle Van Noy. He just signed a $51 million contract last year. He only played 1 year on this contract, and they're getting rid of him.
Come to New York. We'll take you. Come to New York.
I guess I read something that he may want to go back to New England.
Oh,
we need linebacker help.
They don't generally take on those type of contracts though.
Well, I mean, he'll just sign a new contract.
Oh, it got voided. It was only like a 1 year. Oh, okay.
No,
it was a 4-year, $51 million contract that they outright released him.
Right. If you get released and clear waivers, you're essentially a free agent.
Okay. Yeah. Well, do you think anybody's going to pick up Golden Tate? He didn't exactly have a good season last year, and there's a lot of competition.
I mean, he'll probably catch on somewhere, but we know what Golden Tate. You know what you get from Golden. I've always liked him, but
yeah.
Listen, we got to get younger. The Giants have to get younger at receiver. I know Slayton's young and I know Shepard's young, but we need experience. We got to get younger and faster. We need a rookie Odell Beckham again that stretches the field. We don't have any field stretchers.
Yeah, you need number one. Is what you get.
Right. Yes, essentially. Yeah. I want them.
Golden Tate's been in the league for a while. Too.
Yes.
I mean, he's been in 12 years?
Or was it that long?
Yeah, he was in Detroit for a while, and where else was Golden Tate?
Seattle.
He was in Seattle, yeah.
He was drafted. He was drafted by Seattle.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting. So he could sit there for a while then, yeah, with all these young guys and other guys open.
I mean, listen, if free agency hits in 2 weeks and the Giants don't pick up a wide receiver, I'm gonna be pretty pissed about that. They got to grab one of these guys, and I don't care if you overpay for them, but you got to get one of them.
Yeah. Well,
A-Rob or Galladay or Fuller, or I mean, the list goes on and on. There's a bunch of them. Not so much. I like Fuller. I love Fuller for fantasy, but I don't know if I trust him on a team for real. He's too injury prone. Love him in fantasy though.
Okay. All right. Here's another headline. The Vikings are all in on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is not exactly a thrilling quarterback. I know they're paying him a lot of money. What's
Well, they just got rid of one of his weapons too. They just released Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, for cap casualty. What's your take on the headline? Does that mean that Cousins is gone? That they're going to trade him? I mean, that's what I see. Why bother to say it?
I feel like
he hasn't been impressive.
No. He has failed to live up to his contract, which is what everyone expected of him. But
there was a time 2 years ago where you wanted him so badly. I think he dodged that bullet.
I was thrilled when the Jets didn't sign him, and then they got Darnold. Or not Darnold. That was they drafted Darnold.
But Dan, to just say something about your point, not living up to his contract. I mean, he signed the contract that was 100% guaranteed. So I mean, nobody's going to be able to live up to that money unless you're Tom Brady, right? Or Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's going to live up to that expectation. It's just that simple. I mean,
I know
he basically he set the mark for guaranteed money for a quarterback, and everybody thought that that's how contracts would be for these top players. They would sign shorter term deals, 100% guaranteed, and that really hasn't panned out either. So it wasn't even like he was, doing anything.
I commend him because he just crushed his career arc with the way he played it, and then that deal. I mean, but the fact is, he gets blamed for everything. Now, the quarterback generally gets the glory or the blame anyways, but because he is owed so much money for that team, he's blamed when he doesn't do enough for them. So I just think that he's in a losing situation with the Vikings. I don't think they can trade him. They cost too much. If they cut him, they still got to pay him. So of course they're going to keep him. But I don't see how they get over the hump with him as their quarterback unless they grab one of those superstar wide receivers in the draft that happens to just.
I don't know. They got that Justin Jefferson, who is a very good player.
Well, but what's Cousins going to do? I mean, like that's the point, right? I guess that's not enough.
I guess Adam Thielen wasn't healthy this year. I mean, if you have Allen, if you have Thielen and then you have Jefferson, I don't know what they're going to do at tight end because they just released Kyle Rudolph. I mean, he wasn't really that impactful in the offense this year, but I mean, they have no running game. I mean, that's not true. They have Dalvin Cook, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're not winning, I don't know why.
Well, it makes you wonder because the year before, Thielen and Diggs were money for them, and I think they made the playoffs. But I mean, they were never really a championship competitor. So it's just there's something missing from that team, and with Cousins, it just feels like they're going to be a Kirk Cousins team.
Listen, aside from Kelsey and Darren Waller, I mean, everybody needs a tight end. I mean, unless you have one of those two guys, everybody needs a tight end, and you can just plug and play.
With the Giants, don't they have Evan Ingram?
Oh, don't get me started on Evan Ingram. Sorry, I swear. You can edit that out. Don't get me started on Evan Ingram right now. I'm not in the mood.
I threw that at you. That was good. All right, let me see if there's any other good ones. Oh no, that's not a good headline.
I will make a prediction while you're looking for that. It will be Giants-Eagles very first week of the season. Whether it's going to be Sunday Night Football, probably not, but it will be Giants-Eagles week 1. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll probably try to keep all the games close between teams the first week if they can help it. I don't know if that was your reasoning, Prasad.
No. The reasoning is because they of what happened at the end of the season. Regardless of whether or not they decided whether or not they deserve to make the playoffs is irrelevant. That game will be.
That's right. I forgot because it didn't affect me. Yes. Right. Okay. So in the realm of finally being affected by something and speaking out, the Bills decided to propose a new rule where you can't interview a coach before the conference championship, and you can't hire a new coach until after the Super Bowl. And having made the conference championship for the first time in decades, the Bills really were affected by this season and decided to propose the rule change. I actually think it's probably a good thing. I don't know if it'll go through, but it's just ironic to me that this was like the first time in forever that they would have had to deal with this, and now they're complaining about it. But
I don't think that they'll go for that, because coaches get fired the day after the season ends, and you're basically telling those teams that they have to wait around for 5 weeks. I mean, that's 5 weeks that they can't get their building in order. That doesn't seem like a very fair advantage.
Well, I know what they're getting at is that the teams still playing are the teams that are getting poached for coaches most than any. And so their coaches are trying to prepare for a game and then also go interview for their job next season as a head coach, which is probably what's more important, the head coaching job you always wanted or getting your team to the Super Bowl. Now, like, you're asking that coach to choose which he wants to focus more on. And I understand. I'm not surprised the Bills said this. And then if you push it till after the Super Bowl until you can actually hire somebody, then it kind of, I mean, it's just, you're right. It's way too much time. It's dead time for teams. They're itching to start interviewing because it's weeks long process. But there's this month here after the Super Bowl between when the Super Bowl ends and the new league year begins. That could be coaching hiring season. It just isn't right now. So
all these guys are preparing draft boards right now. I think the combine starts in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll be virtual this year. I think a lot of it's going to be virtual and on Zoom, but most times that they're preparing for the combine right now.
Yeah. So I guess this would basically be saying you could interview for the 2 weeks of between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, and then you couldn't hire until after the Super Bowl. So don't handicap the teams in the conference championship, just handicap the teams in the Super Bowl. That was the Bills not liking that their sought after coordinators.
Did I hear right that Roethlisberger's planning on coming back next year? Did I hear that right? Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought I heard.
I think he's willing to restructure his deal so it doesn't destroy the team.
He's going to have to majorly restructure that.
Yes.
I told you guys the moment Dwayne Haskins signed there was no chance they were giving him the reins to that football team. I knew it.
Oh, Haskins, yeah, that's cool. Now
I knew Ben was coming back the second they made that signing.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like Ben gets hurt every other season or every third season, and he's hurt for an injury. So Haskins may see the field. But
well, maybe he's taking the TB12 regimen. Who knows?
Yeah, might be. But so Ben really just wants to redeem himself, right? Because why take? I mean, he doesn't have to take the pay cut. I kind of thought he should retire, but none of these guys seem to.
It'll be interesting to see.
He has to take a pay cut because they'll be over the cap. They wouldn't be able to sign anybody.
Right.
What if Juju leaves?
No, they owe him like $40 million or something silly on the cap.
It would be $41 million for Ben.
Yeah. Is Drew Brees actually retiring? I think so, but then they show him working out and he's smiling and they're all this.
He was pushing the weight sled in the parking lot yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Like he doesn't look like a guy retiring. I'm like, maybe he's just staying in shape. Because
I gotta think he's retiring. He did not play well in that playoff game, and whenever they wanted to throw the football downfield, they actually brought in what's his name? James Winston.
Will he go to that other league and throw to John and be on Johnny Manziel's team?
No,
that'd be funny.
Well, doesn't he already have a handshake contract with NBC or something like that?
Yes.
So why would you want if somebody's willing to pay you $14 million to work 1 day a week, wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
And you know what it was? It was the Saints that was the fourth team that I couldn't think of that Russell Wilson had his list. The Saints were the fourth.
I was going to ask you if that was the other team because the mayor of New Orleans came out and begged him to come play for them.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the fourth team, and that's who it was.
That was funny. And she's like, please.
Well, not if. I mean, if Drew Brees hasn't officially announced his retirement, that's still Drew Brees' team.
Russell Wilson to Michael Thomas. Oof.
Handing the ball off to Alvin Kamara with the top 5 defense and the top 5 offense. Yeah, that would work out pretty well for him.
That would work out pretty nice. It'd be a lot better than Dallas.
But they've got to compete with the Super Bowl champions.
I don't think they'd be worried about it at that point.
I don't either.
Well, Tom Brady said that he's willing to sign a contract extension.
Is Arizona or not Arizona?
This son of a bitch is going to play until he's 50. You believe that?
I know, he just won't go away, right?
He's still winning.
The guy will not go away. He's going to be 44 years old next year, right? 44, 45 years old.
As long as he retires before our children can become Tom Brady fans, we're okay.
Oh God,
it's true because that the hell's it called? Front runner is gonna set in soon.
Yeah, Phil, your kids are dangerously close. I think ours are safe. But
no, there's zero chance that's even going to happen because the only game that's on is the Giants game here, so that's not going to happen.
You just watch him win the Super Bowl? It was too late.
He was sleeping.
Oh, okay, so you're lucky you're not on the West Coast because then he would have watched him win the Super Bowl.
That's true. Yes.
My daughter has no interest, so.
Oh, my daughter is a Jets fan right now, but I don't know how much she likes watching football with me, but I don't know how much she actually cares. So we'll see.
I bought Caitlin Sam Darnold jersey. Go figure.
Oh.
And she thought it was a hockey jersey. So there you go.
Well, you like hockey better, so or maybe I don't know. So that you got a hockey fan. That's good.
Yeah. Well, that's the next thing. She's gonna get a Rangers jersey.
And then she's gonna think it's a Jets jersey.
And then she'll think it's a football jersey. Perfect.
Yeah. My son's too young to get into sports just yet, but I don't know if I want to burden him with the pain of the Jets. I don't know how I can do anything else than otherwise.
It's the worst thing you could do, Dan.
Or the best because they're going to win a Super Bowl with Joe Douglas cutting dead weight, right? So
there's the optimism I miss so much.
You're welcome. We said this a couple years ago when the Jets had all this cap space and a lot of draft capital. And then they spent it all real quick. I don't think Douglas is going to do it, but McCagnon did, and it definitely blew up in their faces. And
so, they just spent it in the wrong spots.
Well, I mean, they got the best players available. They got Le'Veon Bell, they got C.J. Mosley, and that didn't.
And well, Mosley's coming back though, isn't he, this year? So you kind of got screwed out of that last year.
I'll see it I'll believe it when I see it. That's the expression, right? I'll believe it. Right. He barely played for this team. He's just collecting paychecks.
He's played a quarter and a half in 2 years.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I saw. I think it was today or yesterday. Nate Solder's coming back. Yay! Who cares? Who cares?
You have your offensive line back together. Oh boy!
Why can't he be a cap hit?
That's a good question.
I don't know. That is a good question.
Is there any kind of stipulation that if the player opted out that they can't cut him the following year?
He might be protected.
I think so. I don't know. I vaguely remember something about that. We'll have to look into that. We'll circle back.
They didn't get paid for
No.
for opting out. So there might be something in the Players Association that says that if they opted out due to COVID, you can't cut them the following year.